Hey, my friend. Glad you clicked on this one because today we're diving into something that's got Cowboys Nation buzzing again. And yes, it's about that guy, Micah Parsons. You already know he's never been one to shy away from a little heat, but this time it feels different. It's Easter Sunday, the vibes are chill. But Micah, he's dropping a sermon of his own, and the message, he's done holding back. So here's the setup. On his social media, Micah quoted a post saying that Shannon Sharpe is expected to sign a $100 million media deal. That alone? Impressive. But it was Micah's comment that got folks fired up. He wrote, "No, just set my life up for after football. The NFL is unforgiving and each year is never guaranteed. Most players make that mistake thinking the NFL lasts forever, and it doesn't." Sounds logical, right? Well, not to everybody. Some fans came at him hard. The most liked reply said, "He's a Super Bowl champ and Hall of Famer. Didn't podcast once during his career." And another straight up asked, "So you'd rather make money podcasting than playing pro ball?" Now, you can probably already guess, Micah didn't stay quiet. And that's where things start heating up. He's trying to explain himself, trying to justify why doing a podcast isn't some betrayal of the star on his helmet. But the truth is, even when he's right, it doesn't always land with fans. And that's why we're here, breaking this all down. Because this isn't just about a tweet, it's about the bigger conversation. What should NFL players focus on during their careers? Quick question for you right now. Do you think it's smart for players to build their future during their careers, or should they wait until retirement? Drop your opinion in the comments, and let's see where you stand. Oh, and hey, if you like this type of real talk about our Cowboys, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and tap the notification bell. We're close to 13,000 subscribers, and your support helps push us over the top. Let's hit that milestone together. All right, let's keep it going. Because Micah's response, it goes deeper than just planning ahead. All right, let's pick it up from where we left off. So Micah Parsons lays it all out. He's thinking ahead, setting himself up for life after football. On paper, that makes total sense, right? But here's the thing. He's not talking to a neutral audience. He's talking to Cowboys fans. And fans, well, they don't always want logic. They want loyalty. See, to a lot of fans, when you wear that star, your focus should be 100% on the field, especially when you're one of the faces of the franchise. Anything that feels like a distraction, even if it's harmless, can get twisted into a sign that you're not fully locked in. That's the battle Micah's fighting. And honestly, it might be one he can't win. Let's be real. Fans don't follow contracts. They don't get excited about retirement planning. They care about winning. They care about now. So when they see Micah talking about podcast deals and long-term wealth, some of them feel like he's already halfway out the door. But is that fair? Micah's argument is solid. The NFL is brutal. Careers can end in one play. And the league isn't exactly known for taking care of players after they're gone. So of course he's thinking ahead. Who wouldn't? But here's the contrast that makes this tricky. Fans are loyal to teams, not players. Players come and go, but that star, it stays. That's why a fan will ride or die with the Cowboys, even if they're frustrated, even if the team hasn't reached a Super Bowl in decades. And that's why it feels wrong to some when a player, especially a superstar, talks more like a businessman than a linebacker. I gotta say it. Micah might be fighting a war that he can't win. He's trying to convince fans to care about his future when all they care about is the Cowboys' future. And that gap? It's tough to close. Now it's your turn. Do you think a player's focus should be entirely on football while they're active? Or is it fair for them to plan ahead while still competing? Vote in the poll on your screen and let me know in the comments where you stand. And hey, if you appreciate a breakdown that doesn't sugarcoat things, hit that like button right now. It helps us bring you more content that gets straight to the point. Let's keep it rolling, because next up, we're talking about something even bigger than the facts, perception, and how it might be more powerful than reality. So let's dive into something that might just be the key to this whole debate: perception. Because in today's NFL, what people think you're doing can matter way more than what you're actually doing. Look, Micah Parsons could be grinding in the gym every morning, watching film every night, and living like a monk in between. But if what the fans see is him dropping hot takes on a podcast, that's the image that sticks. It's not fair, but that's the game now. And it's not just Micah. That's the case for every high-profile athlete today. Fans don't get access to the full picture. They just see the highlights, the tweets, the viral moments. And when you're not winning playoff games, even the smallest side hustle gets blown up into a headline. Is he focused? Does he care? You know the drill. Here's the kicker. If Micah made it look like football was his one and only focus, barely posting anything outside of training camp photos or locker room vibes, no one would care what he was doing off the clock. He could be running 10 businesses behind the scenes. But if the public perception is that he's locked in, the criticism fades away. Let me give you a quick example. Imagine Micah threw huge parties at his house every weekend, but he never posted about them. No lives, no stories, nothing. And instead, all his social media showed was him training, watching tape, maybe hyping up the team. The reality would be wild, but the perception would be perfect. Now here's the thing. This offseason, Micah's actually been doing a solid job keeping things balanced. He's training, he's showing leadership, he's clearly still hungry. But because he's vocal, and because he's visible, the criticism keeps coming. Sometimes, just being quiet is the better strategy. Not because you owe it to the fans, but because it protects your image. So, what do you think? Are the fans being too harsh on Micah? Or does he need to manage his image better and avoid giving the critics ammo? Drop your take in the comments. I want to hear both sides on this one. And hey, if this breakdown is making you think a little deeper about the situation, hit that like button. It's free, it helps the channel, and it tells us you want more content like this. Now stay with me, because up next, we're going to zoom out and look at something even bigger than Micah. We're talking about a shift in the entire culture of the sport, and whether that shift is for better or worse. All right, now let's zoom out and talk about something that's not just about Micah Parsons. This is a bigger conversation about the whole new generation of athletes. You've probably noticed it already. Athletes are changing the game in ways that older generations never did, and it's raising eyebrows across the board. Let's start with college football. NIL deals, that's name, image, and likeness, have completely flipped the script on how college athletes operate. These guys can now sign deals with brands, make money off their likeness, and even get sponsorships. For some, this is a game changer. But for others, it feels like the heart of college sports is slipping away. The passion, the tradition, and the college athletes' loyalty to their team used to be everything. Now, well, it's all about the paycheck. And guess what? This new approach is creeping into the NFL too. Micah's podcasting isn't just a side gig, it's part of a bigger trend. Athletes are brands now. They're not just football players. They're entrepreneurs, content creators, and media moguls. And for many fans, that's a tough pill to swallow. They want players who eat, sleep, and breathe football, not players who've got one foot in the boardroom and the other in the locker room. But here's the thing. The players themselves are adapting to a world where the NFL isn't the only thing that defines them anymore. It's no longer just about winning Super Bowls. It's about securing a future after football is over. If you're a player like Micah who's young, talented, and ambitious, why wouldn't you take the chance to set yourself up for life after the game? Now, I know some of you are feeling nostalgic for the days when players were all about the game. But that's the past. The game is changing, and whether we like it or not, the lines between sports, business, and entertainment are blurring. So, what do you think? Is the new generation of athletes doing the right thing by expanding beyond the game? Or does it feel like they're disrespecting the tradition of sports for the sake of profit? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious to hear what you all think about this shift. And hey, If you're enjoying this breakdown, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're pushing to hit 13K subscribers, and your support makes a big difference. Stick with me. Next, we're going to talk about how Micah might be handling all of this and why sometimes silence could be the smartest play. All right, we've covered a lot of ground, but now let's wrap this up with a critical thought. Here's where I think Micah Parsons might be missing the mark. He doesn't need to keep justifying himself. Yeah, I get it. He wants to defend his choices, especially when it comes to his podcasting and his life after football. But here's the thing. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words. Think about it. Every time he responds to the critics, he keeps the conversation alive. It's like throwing gasoline on a fire. He doesn't need to engage with the noise. In fact, it's probably doing more harm than good. By responding, he's giving people more reasons to argue, more chances to tear him down. It's a never-ending cycle. So, what's the solution? Silence. Sometimes, the best thing you can do is not give the critics the satisfaction of a response. Let the noise fade away and focus on what you do best, playing football. Fans are going to talk, no matter what. But as long as Micah stays focused and performs at a high level, that's all the fans care about. They're not concerned with what he does off the field, at least not nearly as much as they care about how he shows up for the Cowboys on Sundays. This doesn't mean Micah has to stop being himself. He can still create his own brand, build a future outside of football, and enjoy his podcasting career. But there's a time and place for everything. His time to shine is on the field, and that's where the Cowboys faithful want to see him most. His legacy will be shaped by his performance, not by the number of podcast episodes he drops. So here's the final thought for you. Should Micah let others fight his battles and just focus on football? Should he embrace the quiet approach and let his actions on the field do the talking? If you were Micah's agent, what would you advise him? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm eager to hear your take on this. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe to Cowboys News TV. We've got more content on the way, and your support means the world. We're pushing towards 13K subscribers, and we can't do it without you. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and as always, how about them Cowboys?